Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu, the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are programming for once. When was the last technical stream we had? It's probably a few weeks ago. But I also haven't streamed in almost 2 weeks. Last week we didn't stream because I had stuff that came up that was a little bit more urgent. And then the week before, I think was a Dub Cup or something like that. But anyway, hope you're all well. Today is a work session, which means today is largely for productivity and not so much for entertainment or education. But if you do learn something out of this, then great. We're going to be revisiting Awafudge, the esoteric programming language inspired by Jelly Hoshiumi from Face Connect. So if you want, you can go ahead and read the specification here. We'll not be going over that today. Axion 539 will come in. Still better than me by an order of magnitude. Fair enough. But yeah, so we're going to be working on this today. If you have something of yours that you'd like to work on, feel free to do so. But otherwise, this is largely going to be a programming stream. The last time we worked on this was a long time ago, actually. When was the last time? Awafudge. I actually don't know. We can look this up. Five months ago. Oops. Yeah, it's been a while. And I tried running it, and it gave me an error, so I'm not entirely sure what's up here. We're gonna fix that first. We were working on the UI last time, and we were trying to do, and I think we had a very minimal UI set up, but at the moment I can't even run it, which is weird considering that if you don't touch something, generally it still continues to work. But apparently I had done something between the last stream and this time, and now we have modified files, so I'm hoping that an npm install will just fix this. I'm not entirely sure what happened here, but I think it might have had something to do with me running an npm audit fix or something at one point. Take too long, and TC39 will have a reference implementation first. yeah, that can happen too. TC39, for those unaware, is the group working on the JavaScript specification, and they tend to move decently quickly in terms of, I mean, I actually don't know how fast an individual proposal moves. I know we've been waiting on a few good ones, but they do release a new version of JavaScript every year, so there's some work that's being done. Okay, so I don't expect that to fix anything, but on the off chance that it did. Okay, so this is where we remove actually, we're not going to remove node modules. We're going to move the old backup. And we're going to create a new backup. I don't remember what this old backup was, or if it's even useful. But I'm going to keep it around anyway. And we're going to go ahead and do another npm install. Alright, and nope, okay. And so we're going to do the same thing here too. I've been thinking of making a script where it would do this rename for me. But I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. It's non-trivial. We're going to do another npm install. And presumably this is supposed to install everything that's within the workspace. Now, I could be wrong about that. I might be misremembering. So if that's the case, I'm going to do an npm install here. And then I'm going to do npm run dev, and still isn't working. Failed to load config from that when starting error module not found. Cannot find module. this, imported from that. vts.config.ts. So it can't find this module because we have potentially upgraded Svelte Kit. I don't remember doing that. Package.json. Because I had to include. When did I install Mocha? I do not remember installing Mocha actually. But SvelteKit got updated. Or removed? Or rather downgraded? Okay, this might be the cause of the issue. Because if the npm audit fix had downgraded some packages, which it probably did, then this is no good. So we're gonna stash these changes and hope that we don't need them. npm audit fix attempt failed. npm audit fix attempt. Okay, now we're going to actually remove node modules here. Also remove node modules here. By the way, if any of you have any questions about how any of this, or what any of this is, or how any of it works, please feel free to ask. Okay, now we're going to try and do another npm install. And hopefully this just works. npm run dev. And we have a Vite server, very good. Now we can go ahead and open this in the browser. And we did end up with this. Okay, this does look familiar. And I think this did work. So we input that and change to Awafudge. We do get, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. We do get this and we put this back in here. And we do get that back. Okay, that looks about right. I don't know, maybe we can install this or something. So, in terms of things to do with this one, I do want an interpreter. I want an area where we can see the memory cells. Because if you recall, for those who aren't familiar, the brain F language, it works as if it's. I wonder if the thing has a. Do you have a visualization here? You have a tape. Okay. Okay, so if we do this. Alright, so the way this conceptually works is that you have a tape full of memory cells, and each cell is a number, typically an 8-bit number, so it goes up to from 0 to 255, and you have an infinitely long tape. Traditionally that's infinitely long on the right side. Some implementations do infinitely long on the left side, but typically it's only on the right side. And your commands are increase the value by 1, decrease the value by 1, shift to the right, shift to the left, and then also check to see if it's 0, and jump if 0. And then print or read and write as well to the our input and output. So that's the language that we're based on here. And so I do want a similar thing where we have a window, a view of the tape. I guess similar to what we have here. But yeah, I guess we can install this. I know we haven't written an interpreter for this yet, because I was trying to figure out how to do it so that, like this one here, it would show us at every step, or it would update the tape every step. which probably isn't difficult, but it does take a bit of thought. I'm gonna open up Vim. Probably gonna remove these node modules directories. I'm just gonna take a peek inside here, because I do have a an interpreter here, and I think we did start working on it. And we do have a generator, which makes it easy for us to do this in steps. So maybe actually it probably does just work. Maybe. We'll see. It's going to be easier to see stuff when we have a UI anyway, so we can continue our work on the UI. So here we have app HTML. I don't remember if we're in Svelte 4 or Svelte 5. It's been that long. I recently made an application with Svelte 5, and oh man, it's a lot nicer to work with than Svelte 4. I'll give you that. Okay, so we have runes here, which means this is Svelte 5. That makes things easy. Also, I found out that, well, I mean, this application is old enough that in our vt config, oh, maybe not. Okay. You used to have to do, or you used to have to add, what was it? Some other adapter here to get, is it Sass? Or is it TypeScript? Something like that. But with the recent versions, you don't need to do that anymore. Neko, welcome in. Let me give you a shout out here. Oh, that's what I have the command for. Hold on. Neko is also a fellow programmer, but you don't actually do any programming on stream from what I know. Neko. Okay. Right, so we're trying to figure out... So this is our page. This is what we're looking at here. The very bare bones, but as you can see, we do have a button, and we have another button, and 2 text areas, which is exactly what we see here. Now we go ahead and style this. I think typically for something like this, we tend to have... I'm going to pull up a whiteboard here. Scala draw. We typically have a text area here, another text area here, and then we have 2 buttons, one here, one here. This isn't very mobile friendly. So this is one option, and we can figure out how to make this, or we could potentially just not care about mobile, but this is one layout that we can consider. Right now, our source is set up so that we have it potentially this way instead. We can label it like this, or in a different way, we can format it like this. Or we can bring these 2 buttons in the middle. And this way it would make it easy to be a little bit more mobile friendly. Now I do kind of want to have this up top. If only because we're going to add another button as well that says run. I feel like I'm missing something here. We might want to separate these out. One. We could maybe put this down here and put this over here. So one problem here is I think I'm conflating two UIs, or rather two functions here, because we have an input box where you can either run and have it execute. Actually, I'm going to bring this down because okay, well, we're actually going to be missing a few things. So then we have our memory cells. We have memory cells here. We got to put that somewhere. And then actually, if you run it, you also need input and output. So you need two boxes for that. One for input, and then one for output. But then this one actually isn't necessary anymore in this view. So in this workflow, you input your thing here, you input your code here, you run the code, it runs, in which I guess we need this is why you think things through on paper before you start building them. Stop. Pause / resume. Where the difference is pause will, or stop will stop execution and go back to the beginning, whereas resume or pause and resume are only stop it temporarily. Maybe these should be separate buttons. Okay, so in this case, maybe it does make sense to separate these out. So I'm going to copy this thing, paste that over here. So in the one case, you have the run workflow, where then you have outputs and inputs. Like so. In which case, maybe the memory cells are down here. And then in the other case, you have the conversion. Which means we can put that up there, and then this becomes the output. And then we can relate these two, or we can combine these two in the same UI by tabs. Do I have tabs here? Web design, web kits. I'm not sure that actually gave us anything useful. Universal UI kit. Let's see if there's anything in here. Tabs. I need tabs. Okay. This could work, maybe. Good enough. Asher's welcome in. So we can have one tab here. This is going to be execute, and then we can have this as convert. And tab 3 can be, I don't think we have a third function. Format. I didn't write a formatter, but it would actually be trivial to, because all you have to do is parse it and then recombine it, because the formatter used in the conversion is already has a nice formatting. You don't get new lines, actually. You don't get new lines, but you do get spaces. Pretty print, yeah. And all you need to get the pretty printing is the actually, hold on, but with that you'll lose comments. I mean, I don't know. We can add it as an option, and then if somebody complains, which nobody is, because nobody's gonna use this. Yeah, because converts takes from one format, turns it into the parse tree, into the AST, and then abstract syntax tree, and then formats it out again from that. Whereas formats does the same thing, as just from the same language to the same language. And then this one, with the format one, then it's just going to be the one button. Okay, so I think this is largely going to be our UI. I didn't prepare it here. I wonder if I still have this. No, that's on the other source. I'm going to go hunt for this thing, because it is relevant. I did get art commission for this project. This one is by Cinnabonbon, which I will link in a bit. But I do want her sitting somewhere. I haven't quite figured out where. And there are variations where, which I'm gonna have to compile, but there is a second variation, and each of these are individually toggleable. And so I figured as the program is running, we can do some sort of asset switching and animations and whatnot. Let me bring up her link here. I wonder if she's still active. I know she took a break from streaming. There we go. I know she took a break from streaming for a while, but I haven't been caught up. Ice is still going as of October 2025. Anyway, so yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. We're gonna need a tab bar. We're gonna need buttons. We're gonna need these, and also this. And if we do this vertically, it means that we're already mostly mobile already. So this should be okay. So we're at this one right now, so we can just format this, turn this into some sort of panel. Sure. Which means we're going to extract these out into its own thing. I can't remember what they're called. They're what is it called when you have a screen of components? A page, that's what it was. So this is, I mean, it's a tab page. Yeah, pages is correct here. Pages, we can do that. And then we can have this be, ooh, I don't know, converter.svelte. And then we can dump this entire thing there. This stuff doesn't really belong here anyway. We do want to keep the H1. We're going to take that out of here. And then we're going to have, for now, converter. Then we're going to have to import converter. Nope, that's not how you do it. It's a default export from lib slash pages slash converter sveltes. We do that, and we should look the same, assuming we haven't done anything wrong here. And it still looks the same. Okay, we haven't messed up. We're gonna go ahead and commit this. Git add packages, Awafudge. Should be able to add everything just there. Extract existing contents into converter converter page components. There will be multiple pages. This is one of them. I'm just gonna have to live with that overflow. That's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Not gonna be too strict with git commit messages. Okay, so before we work on some other pages, we can create. I have a favicon. Oh no, that's the default svelte one. We can create tab bar. Can I pull in a library for this? Yes, probably. I'm not as familiar with the Svelte ecosystem as I am with the React ecosystem, at least in terms of libraries, so I don't know what's out there. But also, a tab bar is simple enough that we can just make our own. Script lang equals TypeScript. What do you need here? I'm going to just call this tabs, actually. Tabs. Hold up. Svelte. Because one way we can do this is. Actually, the way we'll probably have to do this is by using, well, it used to be slots, now they have something else. So I gotta figure out what that something else is in Svelte 5. They have snippets now. That's what it is. Snippets and render tags. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. And they don't let me collapse the sidebar. Okay. Make it bigger enough. Okay. Snippets and render tags are a way to create reusable chunks of markup inside your components. Instead of writing duplicate codes like this, And you can write this, you know, snippets. Snippet scope. I'm not sure this is... snippets can reference themselves. Passing snippets to components, this is what we want. Explicit props. Within the template, snippets are values just like any others. As such, they can be passed to components as props. So that's snippet header. Okay, so they're basically... They're effectively functions. Okay, that's good. Think about it like passing content instead of data to a component. The concept is similar to slots and web components. Implicit props. As an author in convenience, snippets declared directly inside a component implicitly becomes props on a component, such as this. Implicit children snippet. Any content inside the component tags that is not a snippet declaration implicitly becomes part of the children's snippet. Okay. This is nice to have, because I know one of the things that I felt was a little bit missing was being able to pass markup as data in Svelte 4. Now you could do that with slots, but you couldn't just outright pass it as, or treat it like a value. And in this case, I don't know if they're necessarily first class values, but at least you can do that now. You can do render. Okay. No, you cannot have a prop called children if you also want to have content inside. That's fine. There's an if block, typing snippets, exploring snippets. So one thing that you can't do is define the snippet inside of JavaScript. Like you can't on React, but I think with this there's no need to. Yeah, because you can just define snippets in the template area and it's all good. One thing maybe you wouldn't be able to do as neatly is like conditional rendering inside of the actually it's not conditional rendering, it's the conditional rendering of the components, specific components, I think, possibly. You might be able to do that in Svelte, but the paradigm, there's probably workflow that renders that not necessary. Exporting snippets, you can do that too. Okay. Well, that's nice. It requires Svelte 5.5 or newer. What version of Svelte are we on? Packages, Awafudge, package.json. Not that I needed all the syntax highlighting or anything. Svelte's 5. Right, we actually need to look to package lock, which I don't have. Package lock up at top here. Yarn has a nice way of telling you what dependency is actually installed. I don't know if there's an equivalent for npm. I mean, I suppose I can just look in the node modules. Svelte package.json 5.38.2. That's newer than 5.5. Oh, you can create raw snippets too. Okay. So never mind. You can create snippets in JavaScript. Although it has to be a string. JSX is perhaps a little bit more convenient, but that's what putting a snippet in the template section is for, I suppose. Spell 4 content can be passed to components using slot snippets are more powerful and flexible. So slots have been deprecated in spell 5. I think the thing that we lost with slots is that at least slots were a lot like the equivalent in, or the equivalent syntax in what do you call it, web components. So a little more standards based, but and I don't know. It's nice to have that, but at the same time, it's also nice to have the functionality that we have here, the flexibility. So it's probably a good trade-off. At least it's not being, at least the two functionalities aren't being conflated with each other too. Because if you have something being used in a way that's slightly different and not strictly an enhancement, then it could get confusing. Anyway, what I was going to do with that one was that because we can make we can give this thing a tabs prop that takes in a bunch of tabs. An array of tabs. One of which is going to be so if we say we have an interface, and we're probably going to put this elsewhere. Interface tab, tab description. We have a property name as a string, and then we have render, or content is snippets. We're gonna have to import from here. Oh, that's largely it. In which case, then we'll have let's tabs equals props. So we'll take the tabs as props here. We'll have an interface here. Interface props. I don't know how people do this typically. Tabs is tab description. An array of that. I mean, we could maybe just call this tabs or tab. Descriptor. That's what I was looking for. Description and descriptor are two different things. Do people tend to export this? That would make sense. Actually, maybe I don't need to put this anywhere else because this is specifically for the tab bar. So we get that. And then we need a way for this to have the current tab. And then we have act. So I need an ID, some sort of string. We have a name, which is the display name. Title? Tab title. That makes sense. ID title contents. And then we have tabs the sets. And then we have active is some sort of string. you can probably type this to be a bit more strict and say that it has to be within tabs. But I'm not sure how to do that, and I'm not sure we really care, because if it's something that's not in one of these, we can just do an if check or something, and well, maybe we don't throw it, or maybe we do throw an error, maybe we don't, we just render nothing. This feels awkward. Well, we can rename that later, that's fine. Error on the side of being more descriptive, I suppose. Okay, so from here, we do each tabs. So if they don't provide anything, that gets defaulted to an empty array. And then we have active tab ID is equal to a empty string. So if each tabs, so for everything that's in tabs, which I actually forgot how this looks. Okay, as name index. We only need name, I think. Add each tabs as tab, and then tab.id. So this is our key. So then whenever you're doing, whenever you're looping through a lot of, whenever you're looping through an array like this, you should almost always have a key, so that if things are moved around, Svelte can more efficiently do the renders. And this is especially important if you're say inserting or deleting from the middle. If you're just adding to the end, it doesn't really matter. But if you're doing anything with anything that's not the end, especially removing or adding items, then you could run into some slight performance issues, or perhaps significant performance issues, depending on how large your elements are and how large the update is. And particularly how large the array is, I think. If it's just a few items, maybe it doesn't matter. In which case, I mean, in this case, it will just likely be a few items. But the way we're running it, this doesn't know in advance. So it's best to keep that there. So for every tab, we're going to render a title. Tab dot. We don't need a reference to the tab. We can just destructure this. So this is going to be ID title content, and we can give this the ID. So what we did here is we broke up tab, and we're saying that it contains, and we're extracting out the properties ID, title, and content into variables with the same names. And so we can just call it title here, and then if ID is equal to if active tab ID is equal to ID, so if this is the active tab, then we also render its contents, and we need the render tag for that. @render. @render. This doesn't take any props, but I also don't think we need to. Should be fine. So at the moment, we should see nothing because we haven't actually, no, we should see the converter, and we should see no tabs. So effectively, we should see no change in our page. But also, we're going to see an error because I haven't imported tabs yet. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to change this to tabs. Import snippet from the cells. Oh, does this not exist on the version that we have? Unexpected token. No, that should be fine. What are you complaining about? I copied that directly from the website. Oh, right. I hate that it does this. It's scriptline TS, not TypeScript. Which actually means this needs to change. Okay, I did not expect that. Tab bar is not defined because we changed it to tabs. So now we get this back. And then we define a snippet. That is how you define a snippet, right? Yeah, okay. Snippets, convert, converter, converter page. That's going to be this one here. Very simple snippets. But we do need a snippet so that it is in some sort of container. Convert page, converter page. This is fine. I think context. I think context will say that this is not a function to convert a page into something else. Content, convert page. And so, we should still see nothing, except we now have a title, and it should say convert, so we should expect to see text and nothing else. And we don't even see the text, okay. Oh, no, there it was. So something else is wrong. So it was there, but now it's not. Reference error tab is not defined. Aha, tab.id. Okay. So now it's just ID because we destructured this. So we should see it now. And it is staying there, so that's good. And then now we need to give this an active tab ID. So we're going to hard code this as convert for now. And so we should see the old UI. And we do not. Because this needs to go on the outside. And it would be good to have this const tabs is equal to this. We'll put that out there. And now we can have tabs like that. And we can also have let's active tab ID is equal to states. Converts. You want to bind this? Yeah, let's bind this. I think that makes sense. Does it? It doesn't, it doesn't. Because we might want to have an event on tab change. Let's say don't bind for now. In which case, maybe we do want this as not destructured. On change. No, I don't remember what Svelte's conventions here were. Do you have a Svelte's event handlers? So I know on change with the lowercase and uppercase do actually are considered different than Svelte's, and the convention is one way or the other. But I don't remember what. I'm gonna say it's gonna be that. There's gonna be some sort of function that takes in tab descriptor, and then that puts void, or yeah, returns nothing. We're gonna say on change, if it isn't supplied, is going to be a function that does nothing. In which case, then we actually do need to have this as tab. This gets tab.id. This is tab.title. This is tab.id, and tab.content. We're going to assume that there is content. If there isn't, so we can let it error out and let the dev deal with it. And then we have on change is equal to on tab change, which we will define here. Function on tab change. Is that gets a tab. That's not how you define that. Maybe it is. But the coloring is wrong. Okay. maybe that's how you do that. So tabs, active tab ID. On change is this. On tab change, and then it gets the tab. This is going to be a tab descriptor. We can actually type this one. This is tab descriptor array. And then that returns void, returns nothing. And then we have active tab ID is equal to tab.id. I feel like I do want to bind this just to make it simple. Because it's we will need, the reason why we might need an on change is if we're doing any sort of cleanup. But actually no, we will probably want this. Because if the user switches to, so say the user is executing something. The user is executing something. You want to clean up, or you want to stop the execution, and then switch to this. Because you don't want to have it running in the background. But at the same time, Svelte has unload events you can hook to, so that's probably better than doing it from this side at this level. So maybe we don't need the on change. Maybe we can just get away with binding. So I'm gonna say bindable. We're gonna get rid of the on change because we're not actually going to be using that. Never mind. If we need it later, we'll deal with it later. In which case, this simplifies to bind active tab ID is equal to active tab ID. We get rid of this on change here. And we should have complex binding patterns require initialization value. That. Of course, we're gonna have to style this too, but that can come later, or it'll probably come now. This actually needs to go out here because we need to render the tabs, and then we need to do tabs, active tab ID, and then if it exists, and then we render its contents. No, I got this wrong. This first. Clearly I haven't programmed JavaScript in a while. Okay, so this is sort of what we expect. Sort of. Because I do expect active tab ID to be this. I did have it as convert. So it should be seeing that. But it's not. So then the question is console.log active tab ID. Maybe I shouldn't use binds then in that case. This is state actually, which means we need to unwrap it. Where's it derived that you need to unwrap? State.raw. No, not this one. State.snapshot, that's what it is. Oh, well, but also it's not deeply reactive, so I don't actually care. Because it's just a string. Debugging tip, if you ever need to console, or if you ever need to log stuff out, or do any temporary debug lines, have some sort of expected string in the line. So even if it's just a comment out here like this, you can do that so that you can just search your files for this string and then delete those. In Vim, it's going to be really easy. You can do g/debug and /d, and this will delete all the lines that have debug in the line, or whatever string that is that you chose. You can only bind state or props, because I wrote this wrong. It's supposed to be like that. So it's debug convert, yes. Do I actually? Oh, I do have the Svelte dev tools, but I don't have it with dev mode enabled. This reference only captures the initial value active tab ID. Do I mean to reference it inside disclosure? Probably. But also, Svelte dev mode. I've actually never used the dev tools before, so I don't know how this works. After installing, you'll see a new tab in developer tools. Sure. Turn on developer mode switch, but I'm already running this with dev mode. Application compile with dev true. SvelteKit does this automatically for you, which I am using. So we're... Oh, wait a minute. Right, this doesn't actually work with Svelte 5 yet. Well, that would help. Svelte dev tools. Svelte 5. Yeah, maybe they haven't done that yet. Okay. Yeah, there's an open issue. And it's still open. Okay. On the radar, trying to stabilize Svelte 5 first, but that was 2024. Okay. I guess we're without that. I killed the server. So what if I don't make it bindable? What if I just use the thing that we had before with the on change? Okay, hold on, I'm gonna need this line. We're gonna go ahead and copy that. Undo until we get this. No, I still need this. But now I get this again. And then now we can do this. So then we do that. And then we undo this until we get the on change again. Would have been nice to have bind, but I guess not. Huh? Tabs not spelled on change. Okay. So, still an issue. We're still not getting this. Active tab ID is this. We aren't calling on change, so this is fine. Oh yeah, that kind of just puts the problem down the line, but we can think about that later. This is convert, because we saw that earlier. We're going to print out active tab ID here, just as debug line. So it is convert, then what's the issue? Convert page to content. Does this exist? We're gonna put something in here first, just to make sure that there is actually something in there. Okay. Am I not rendering properly? Is that what it is? No log messages. Does this exist? Apparently, possibly not. Object. JSON.stringify. ID convert, title convert. Contents missing. Contents missing. Why? Even though I put it right there, there is something there. This is gonna complain because render can't do. Oh, maybe it can. Apparently can't render a stream. Well, that's fine. Alright, we go back to the snippets. So before we do that, let's try putting this in line and see if that changes anything. I lost it. Yes, I know Vim does have copy history, but I couldn't remember which number that was. It's easy enough to do it that way. Okay, so maybe this will change things. 0? Well, I mean, clearly this isn't working either. And so we know converter works, because that we saw that do something. So, but the snippet for some reason isn't working. To render a snippet using @render tag, the expression can be an identifier like sum or an arbitrary JavaScript expression, which is what we have. Optional snippets, that's fine. Alternately, use an if with an else. Snippets and render tags are ways to create a reusable chunks of markup. We did that. Snippet scope can be declared anywhere inside your components. It can reference values declared outside themselves, for example, the script tag or on each blocks. They're visible to everything in the same lexical scope. Reference themselves and each other. Passing snippets to components. Then the template snippets are values just like any other. Such can pass components as props. Specifically as props? Can they only be props? Shouldn't be able to. As an author in convenience, snippets declared directly inside a component implicitly become props on the component. In before, I can do this instead. Tabs 0.content. Oh, yuck. That actually compiles. Okay. Expected token. Okay, you can't do that, which is probably a good thing. So as a test, you have content there and render content, and we're going to pass in content here as a prop. Converts page as a prop. And with any luck, it just gives it to us. Invalid snippets. Could not render snippet due to expression being null or undefined. So what you're telling me is that snippet doesn't exist. Okay, so there's something wrong with how we're defining snippets. But it looks like this. Pretty sure we're on a svelte version that supports these, because otherwise I would have complained about it. So then what if we bring this in here? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Because I put it on the wrong thing. It should be over here. Okay. So then I expect to see it. And I do see it. So snippets cannot be passed in as... Oh... Okay, so then how do you solve that? If you can't pass in an arbitrary number of tabs, then how do you make it cycle between... How do you make it cycle between... how do you make a tab component with an arbitrary number of tabs? If you can't, if these aren't treated like first class values. Felt tab components. Somebody's got to have solved this already. Components tab 1. Or you just literally just import that. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess that works. That works, but also, yeah, I mean, in this case, because we're dealing with pages, and the pages won't have any props, this actually does work. So we could do this. I don't like this though. Tab item, title, profile. I am interested in seeing how this is built. You have a link to tabs component. There we go. So children selected. Ooh, selected was probably the thing there. Divider, class name, whatever. Active class derived. Warranty nut, that's fine. Auto select logic. Handle external changes. Can't be this hard to make a tab component, is it? Render children inside of the tab list. Prop. Now I think I'm... So one approach we could do is to leave out the rendering out of the tab bar and just have the tab bar as a tab bar, which is I think what I was going for originally, in which case the outer shell is responsible for rendering the actual content. Could do it that way. But I mean, clearly this does something. So it's got to work somehow. Selected tabs and sort of the states. No select logic. Tab registry. Oh no. I don't want to. No, I don't want to have that. As a states map to select a tab. Tab data. And you have tab item, which is probably registering itself with stuff. Bindable false title is this key active class name children. Oh, it's in a context, I see. Tab item must be used within a tab's components. You know what? That actually kind of makes sense. Registers itself. So what this is doing is that there's a context, which is basically you can think of it as a holder, like a container, a memory container, that is specific to this application, or to this component, this instance of the component. And so both the tab bar, tabs.svelte here, and this tab item know about the context. This sets up the context, and then this gets the content, or the context. And so data can flow upwards from the tab item. So it's required that you have a tab item component, because this is what's going to register itself with the context, and then when the context updates, the tabs component knows that tab exists. I don't want to do that. It's more complicated than I would have wanted to. So I think I'm going to go with the other solution where this is just a tab bar. And all it does is handle switching between, or selecting which tab is active and whatnot, and then delegating the actual rendering to the parent components. Because that is not something I want to do. So, no content. We do still want an on change. Yeah, we still want an on change. But this time we can take a string where it's just a tab ID. No, I still like active. Active is fine. So no content. So each tabs as tab ID, tab.title, UL, that's gonna be an LI, ID equals we're gonna leave that off for now. It's gonna be on click is equal to, well, that should really be a button then, shouldn't it? Button on click is equal to handle change. On change tab.id. In which case we can now destructure this, and that's going to be ID now. ID and title. And this can now just be ID. And this can just be ID. And this can be just title. As the button. And this is gone, this is gone. So now we just have a tab bar, tab descriptor, tab bar dot svelte, and then this is tab bar dot thing. Is there a switch statement in svelte templates? Would be nice. I don't think there is, though. Would have been nice. Okay, well that's the only thing that we have right now anyway. So we have tab bar, tabs, active tab ID on change, on tab change. No, we have that. We have that. So this should all look the same. If something didn't go wrong. Tab bar is not defined. Tab bar, not tabs bar. Convert is not defined. Converter. Why just copy and paste things? I'm still disappointed that snippets aren't first class values. Why shouldn't they be? If they're already accessible through JavaScript, they really should be. Okay. That's not working. Why? What happened in the on-click? So there's clearly an on-click there. And it did do something. And clearly clicking it did something. Ah, yes, okay, because I did that. Tab ID. That was a string, because this is now a string that takes in the ID. Okay. So that's what we expect. And so now I think we can go ahead and commit this, because this is one change. Yes. And so this is going to be add a rudimentary tab bar. Unstyled. So is a lot of other things here. That's fine. And so we're just going to assume this works. I'm going to add another page. We're going to have this be the format. Surely be format.svelte. I'm going to rename the converter because that should be convert.svelte. Convert page, convert. They should be named pages. Convert page, yeah. Naming things. One of the two hardest things in computer science, along with cache invalidation and off by one errors. Alright, git move packages, UI source lib pages converter, and this is going to be convert from to convert page. That's felt. And then along with that, we're also going to have convert page, and actually we don't need this content anymore. Great. And get resets. We're gonna do that because I don't need this, which means I can go ahead and do that git amend the previous commits. I'm gonna run git move again. Which doesn't exist because I did only a soft. Soft? There are 3 types of git resets. One is soft, one is hard, and the other one is mixed. If you do a git resets without anything, it defaults to mixed, I think. Yeah, it defaults to mixed. Alright, what did I end up, why did I end up admitting, oh wait. These are tabs. I should not be tabs. I mean, the tab bar is going to be full of tabs, but not these kinds of tabs. Set list. No, that's not a tab, okay. These are tabs. But these were here from before, so I think they're... That's fine. I would actually prefer to use tabs for indentation if the community weren't so against it. So I think tabs for indentation specifically makes sense. And then you use spaces for what do you call it? For alignments. I know a lot of people go on about, well, tabs look different on other people's screens, but yeah, I think that's the point. Now, what I would think would be nice if we had more support for is elastic tab stops, where... Okay, don't load. Archive.org. Where pressing tab will get you to effectively a new column, and this column will shrink and grow. Would be nice to have this, but we don't have that. I mean, there are some implementations for certain editors. Vim isn't one of them, unfortunately. But it would be nice to have more widespread support for this, because it would be pretty nice. Here, I'll go ahead and link that. Well, I think VS Code has VS Code? No, VS Code does not have one. Yeah. And Notepad++ has one. Tab writer package, interesting, okay. User script adds last tab stop support to GitHub. Anyway, yeah, would be nice, but unfortunately we don't have support for it. Okay, so what did I amend into here? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it probably was that, actually. Because I don't see it here anymore. Oh yeah, no, that's... Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then we go ahead and add packages, Awafudge, source lib pages, converter.svelte or convert.svelte. There we go. So you can actually pass in a glob string to Git, and then we'll figure things out for you. This wouldn't work if we were to do this glob as part of the shell, because this would only have the one. It'll only find convert page.svelte, but it won't know about converter.svelte because it's gone now. But Git knows about it. So then Git, you can pass the glob to Git, and it'll figure it out for you. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna get a drink here. I may end a little bit earlier than I would like. Maybe in about 15 or so minutes. Apparently not streaming has it was either not streaming or something else causing my throat to hurt a little bit. And I don't have any lozenges on me because I ran out. Or I have one. I'm gonna have to go out and get some more tomorrow or something. Oh, speaking of tomorrow, actually. We're not ending the stream yet, but since I did mention it, I don't have this set up yet. Let me go ahead and do that. We are going to be arranging Luminary again. Part 3. But if you also didn't see, we did launch Jelly into space for her birthday. So if you haven't seen that one, you can go ahead and watch that there. I wrote the music for it, and so we're going to be talking about my thought process behind the music. Ashers, has the weather gotten better? Probably. It has snowed a lot here, but I haven't really gone outside. It's not unusual for me to not go outside, though. But it should at least be... It's been a few days since the snowfall, so things should hopefully be cleared out, at least in terms of roads and pathways and stuff. I've been holed up for most of the week, so yeah, same. I do have pretty big windows, but I do keep my blinds closed as well, so I don't know. I do see I do see what's outside, but I don't experience it for myself, which in the winter is nice. Okay, what do we have? I did have to go out of my suite today though, because I got a package and I had to grab that from the mailroom. Bought some stuff from the local music store because the D string on my violin broke. It snapped while I was apparently I haven't used the violin in so long that the strings had loosened up, so I had to retighten them, and then while I was doing that the D string snapped, and apparently I didn't have an extra one. I have to say, for maintaining a violin, the thing that I like the least about maintaining a violin is having to restring an E string, because every time I do that, it feels like something's just gonna break. So I got a whole package of a new full set of strings for the violin. so that I have extras. Because I thought I had an extra D string, but apparently I don't. And actually now I don't have an extra D string because it's on the violin. So I'm going to have to get another D string at some point. But I now have extras of the A and G strings, and I have a couple of extras of the E string now. And the E string is the one that's most likely to break anyway, so that's good. Also got some valve oil for the slide whistle, which I do actually have on me, so I can temporarily... I don't think I've shown off the slide whistle in any shorts or anything. You know, normally I make a short where I do a little bit of an improv whenever I get new instruments, but I haven't done that. I haven't done that for the last shipment. So one of these things, what am I gonna do with this? Who knows? I will find some place for this. I expect notes to be kind of difficult to play on that, but it is possible if you try hard enough. There are YouTube videos of people doing that. Forgive me, I keep hearing G-string giggle myself. Well, understandable. I'm sure many jokes have been made on the topic. What else do I have on me? Yeah, so I got valve oil for that. Just because it was sticking when I first got it, but now it isn't sticking, so I haven't put the valve oil on. But if it ever starts sticking again, I might consider that. In the shipment, I also got a swab, so basically just a cloth for the inside of my flute. Because so I got the flute secondhand, very cheap on eBay, and came with a swab. But clearly it's been heavily used. And I have been using it because I had nothing else, but you know, having to use someone else's used swab is kind of... You kind of don't want to do that. So I got a new one. Okay. Not converter. Converts page.svelte. And something went wrong because why? Converter is not defined. There we go. That's what we want to see. I should have bought two of those though, because it would be nice to have a cloth for my my alto recorder as well. Because right now I've just been using actually might be too thick. Right now I've been using a paper towel. Actually, maybe I should consider using a shop towel. That's a little bit more durable. But I'm using a paper towel and it works. Although I do think I get some fibers near the joints. I'm noticing the grease is starting to come off. So I've been using that for that, and then also the Zaffoon. But it would be nice to have something that's a little bit more durable. So maybe we should just go with shop towels, which I do have. Converter to convert components to convert page, and this is because Make it more obvious that it's a page. That's fine. Speaking of the flute, though, I need to get that because I got it cheap on eBay. I expected that I would have needed to do some maintenance on it, and actually, when it first came, there wasn't as much, or it played fine. But I later realized that the pads were probably leaking, so I'm gonna need to take that in for maintenance at some point, but can't afford to do that right now. It's gonna take what? A full COA, cleaning, oiling, and adjustments, or whatever the A is. I think that's about $200-ish. I'd rather not spend $200, especially since I just spent another, was it 100, 150-ish, I think, for the last shipment. So at least with the strings, it's I mean, I don't know. In any case, if any of you do want to help fund that, you can send a tip to the tip jar if you'd like. Twitch, does that not work on Twitch? I thought I'd fix that. Hold up. I'm gonna look into this because I thought I did fix this. Ah, it's because I disabled it, that's why. Let's try again. There we go. That's much better. Okay. What are we working on? We're trying to get... well, we did all that so we can get a tab bar. But we don't have any other pages, so we can... I think maybe what I would like to do is I should consider styling this first. And then make another page. Because then I could just go ahead and copy this and then... actually, hold on. I can make layout components. Maybe I should make layout components. Because if we go back to the Excalibur drawing here, right, they all look largely the same. The only thing that's different is this, right? So all of them have an action section, and then they have inputs, and then I have some sort of output. You could conceivably turn this into a layout component that has 3 sections. One is actions, one is inputs, I guess in this case is 2, and one is output, which in this case is that. Or clearly on this one, that and this here. But also, do you really need that? I think having a layout component is probably redundant, because to make there's no real sense in separating this out, sort of, because it's gonna look the same anyway, whether you have a layout component or not. At least with the way it's currently laid out. And if we do need a layout component because it's going to be more complicated, we can do that later. Okay. No layout component then. In which case, I do still want to style this. Actually, the advantage of the layout component is that I don't have to copy the styles. Maybe it is worth it. We'll do it for this one first. and then see where that takes us. So this is going to be style lang equals SCSS, which I don't think I have enabled, but maybe I don't need to, especially with the newest Vt, whatever it is they have included. Because I need SAS embedded. Actually, this is fine. I can do that. Do we do nothing there? Packages, Awafudge. We'll install it here. Install dev SAS embedded. Interesting. So now we restart the server. And then it just works. So here, div class equals actions. Div class equals inputs. We'll just have the same structure for all of them, I guess. Div class equals outputs. Clearly a little bit confused. That should go there. And from here, we might not even need styling. Well, I suppose that's good to start with. Inputs. Well, right now you don't really have much importance on as to what you're supposed to do with this. Apart from this just being output and this is input. But I can't have input here. Without the actions being inside. Like this. Which kind of looks, because it's kind of, I don't know, having input there, it doesn't seem quite right. I'm gonna leave this out. We're gonna think about that later. We're gonna say text area. Rows 80, no, 30, I guess, and calls 80. It's maybe a little bit large. Okay. Oh, but do we want to be persisting anything between the tabs? Maybe. We can think about that later. I guess for now this is fine. Probably. So far no styling needed, because we just let the default CSS deal with that. We could probably use some padding, or some margins rather. But I still don't have a clear view of what this should look like, despite what we have here. I mean, we have effectively this, except it, I don't know, you look at this and you can't really tell what you're supposed to do here, and that's not good. But we can leave that for later. Format. Go ahead and copy this. Format Awafudge. Parser equals new Awafudge parser. You parse it, then you format to the Awafudge formatter, and output equals format. So it's like the converter, it's just from the same language to the same language. In which case we actually don't need a separate page for this. We can just have format or pretty prints. Oh well, that's fine. Alright, we won't be able to see it because we don't have it yet. Which means we'd have it here. Format page. We have that, and we have format page here. Nope, we don't copy that. That's going to be an else if. Active tab ID is equal to format, then format page. I thought it was else if with no space, but okay. We're gonna add another tab here. Whoa, what happened? Each key duplicates, right. Hey, look at that, that actually works. Now I suspect, yeah, if we change tabs, it's gonna just make the text disappear. So we might actually want to perhaps a context or something to keep that. But that's going to be for later. At the moment, we don't need this, so I can actually leave that off. I can probably wait, hold on. Yeah, we can commit that later. Git add packages Awafudge source. Do that again. We actually don't need that. No. We can commit add structure to convert page templates. Separate elements into actions, inputs, and outputs. I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Add formats tab. This is like the converts tab, but from Awafudge to Awafudge. I'm missing a quote. Okay. Does it work? Aha. So yeah, it added the space there, which is what we want. Then we add extra spaces. Whoa. That's not supposed to happen. Hold up. Parse error. Expecting one of these. Got that. Oh. This should be valid grammar, right? Because the question mark is equivalent. Ooh, hold up. You sure? You sure about that? Oh, it's because of the space. Is it because you can't have the space? No, that doesn't make any. Wait a minute, is there something wrong with my parser? Is this in the spec? In the base mapping, right? It should be fine, I think. I'd expect it to be fine. There might be a bug in the parser. Okay, might have to fix that. Yeah, because these should be independent of the WAS here. I am not sure how I didn't account for that. Okay. So that's something to fix for next time. Because I don't think we're fixing that now. Although I will have a quick look to see if that is just easily fixable. So that's going to be in here. That's going to be the parser. That's going to be the JSON file. T bison. ZFT yak. Now where could this be? I think it's probably here, the loop operations, and this. I need optional spaces because I don't have optional spaces anywhere. That might actually be an easy fix. Okay, so if we do space here. This seems like it would be correct. But we need to write a test for this. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's it exists. Oh, actually, no. We should probably have those. Save dev types mocha. NPM or Node now has its own test runner. Should probably switch to that, or switch to vtest, because that's a thing too now too. Parses nested loop instructions. Parses single empty loop instruction. Parses a single and parses. Hold on. CD LFC, which actually I should rename to Awafudge because that's what the package name is. npm run. Do I have something here? I do not. Cannot find module. Why? Is it because it's TypeScript now? It's because it's TypeScript now. TS Node, does TS Node exist? Can I just do this? It doesn't have readline. RL wrap? Do I have RL wrap here? I do have RL wrap. npx ts node. Okay, so now that should let me. Actually, maybe it did have readline already, and it just didn't have history. It does have read. Okay, it has readline. Readline, by the way, is the library that lets you do keyboard shortcuts on your inputs, plus a whole lot of other things. So a lot of things like Node and Bash in particular use it, so that it's nicer to work with. The command line is nicer to work with. But I need this require command We're gonna take that and hope you can deal with this. Equals expected. What do you mean? Alright, import star as P from source this. Is that gonna work? I have no idea what's happening. I've just made things more difficult for myself by setting up TypeScript. Okay. I mean, it helps, but also at the same time, I'm going to build, and I'm going to run what's inside of dist. Actually, hold on. Did I not make a... Oh. Wait a minute. I forgot. I do have a command line utility for this. Because I can just do... bin lfc.js. Because I could just do that. And that just works. And this is going to fail because of the parse error. Okay. So now we write a failing test. Parses a single IP loop instruction with white space. We're going to do this. And then this should work. Now we change it to that. Now we do the npm run. Not that, npm. npm run. npm build parser Awafudge. I still haven't figured out how to fix this, but it's literally hasn't been an issue. State 16. Multiple actions. This might be new. Maybe it isn't. No, it's not new. Okay. And then we npm run build. And then we do this again. We should see that this just... Oh, okay. npm test. Something changed. Something changed with... How did I... Oh, I see. I accidentally pasted something over. So this should just... Okay. Does this work without? Normally it doesn't work. Npm build parser Awafudge, okay. And then npm test. We should see this pass. We should just pass because it was passing the last time we did this. And then we should see this fail. but in the way that we expect it to. But it doesn't fail. Because we didn't change the test. No, I think we did change the test earlier and then something happened and then it didn't work. So yeah, we expect that, and then now we changed this to include the spaces. And so now it should pass, after we build. So now it should pass. And it doesn't because introducing that actually changes something? Why? Okay. Interesting. Because we get a parser on this one, that's fine. And then we introduce optional spaces. And then it breaks? Because why? Do we have shift reduce issues? So operations, space operation. So we might actually not need this one. Because we have a built-in, or potential built-in space here. So if operations is empty, then we just have a single space. If operations is not empty, then we get, potentially, we have, potentially empty operations here, we get a space. So if there is a space, we can have that there, and then an operation there, which makes sense. Which is kind of the same thing that we have here in program, where we have operations and then potential white space at the end. Which, okay, so in this case, because is there really no way to reduce that? Make it the same? I mean, I guess you could probably have space at the end here. Possibly. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I should probably give that a shot. If this works, then I will give that a shot. Ha, okay. So if we have a space here, then we don't need this. Then we also don't need this. No, that's wrong, because otherwise we don't allow for the space at the start. Okay. Maybe we do need that after all. Okay. Would have been nice if we didn't need it, but okay. Oh, but there was one thing that we didn't test. Yeah, so adding that space there should be fine. Allow spaces before okay, so that's that. That's a little bit of a detour. I said we'd fix next time, but it was quick enough that we just fix it now. Which means that I should be able to restart the server. And this will just work now. And it broke. Okay. What else? Because do I need to npm install? Shouldn't need to. These are all linked. Yeah, these are all linked. Oh, I need npm. Okay, npm run build. Sure. Okay, so now I can restart the server. And then it should work. This is confusing, but this is not going to be a button anyway. So that's fine. That actually parses fine. And then this should also parse. Okay. Okay. That actually works. Very good. No, I need this. Okay. Git commit add format page. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think we have a pretty printer in the Awafudge.js. Because we only have the formatter. Yeah, because this only compiles, it doesn't pretty print. I'll have to come up with a different name for that. Funny, I don't remember going over Nopt last time, but I guess we did do that. Nopt, by the way. So I mean, it's been months. But I had always been a little bit wary is not quite the right word. Unsure of which unsure of which library to use for options parsing, because I didn't really like how the other ones worked. But then I found Nopt, and Nopt is what they use on npm, and I figured that aligns with my philosophy. Because if it's good enough for the NPM people, then it should be good enough to use here. And it means you already have it installed technically, so no extra dependencies either. Okay. Well, I think that's probably where we'll leave it off for today. We did end up filling out a whole stream, so that's good. I'll push this up to GitHub afterwards. There's still lots to do. Still lots on planned here, but we'll get to it eventually. But I mean, this works. I mean, that was working before, but now we added a new thing. No, that's not proper. And if you add extra stuff, I think it just goes away, right? Yeah. So unfortunately, it strips comments, but oh well. Yeah, that's is that about it? That's probably about it. I'm gonna rest my throat now. Tomorrow, if you didn't catch the mention earlier, we'll be continuing our arrangement of Luminary, again by Jelly Hoshiumi, the same VTuber who inspired this language here. Oh yeah, I should probably link the GitHub. Hold on, let me do that. GitHub, for anyone who wants to have a look at this. Also, I'm going to stall a little bit because Twitch is in ads for another 30 seconds or so. Yeah. Oh, we do have that. In terms of next steps for this one, I think, we will still have to write an interpreter for this. Interpreter is hopefully not too hard. We'll have to figure out how to... Actually, yeah, we're going to have to create a component for the memory cells, and then we're going to have to hook that up to... the interpreter. Which means I'm going to have a way to inspect the memory. Input can come later. I think we can, for now, just ignore that the read operator exists and not support it. Also, eventually, I think I want to add support for ASCII, which is AWA 5.0's character sets, because I think that would be fun. That would be a plugin module to the interpreter. So the interpreter will have to have some sort of module system so that I can swap out the default ASCII printer and recognizer with the ASCII version. So that's something we'll have to figure out too. Shouldn't be too difficult. It should just be a matter of making that configurable. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, welcome back to Twitch. Luminary tomorrow, arranging, also by Jelly Hoshiumi. Words. Oh yes, and also talking about HMS Luminary, the project that the Star Knights did to launch Jelly into space. So if you haven't seen that, I will send the link again. And yeah, have a listen to it because I wrote the music for it. I'm going to be talking about the music and my thought process behind it. Spoiler, I wasn't actually supposed to do the entire thing, but I ended up doing it anyway. Okay. I haven't streamed in weeks. I'm not used to this anymore. Okay. Yeah, so I guess we'll do that tomorrow. And then watch out for the stuff next week. Oh, we're not there yet. Okay, Twitch, we're gonna find something to raid. YouTube, if the person I find is also streaming on YouTube, I will manually direct you all there. In the meantime, hopefully this has been a productive time for you if you're doing stuff in the background, or if you're paying attention to this, hope you learned something. We made a little bit of progress. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you all for coming, and have a good night. Bye. Man, it's hard finding someone. I would drop you off a... okay, hold on. So I found somebody who I would like to raid, except... not with the raid numbers we have tonight. Not with the raid numbers we have tonight. At least, yeah. I'm gonna have to find someone else. Because it's one thing to raid into somebody who's similarly sized with the raid numbers we have, and then there's another to raid into someone who's significantly larger. Alright. Who do we have that's live? Who's in my follower list? You know what, why not? I haven't raided Neko in a while. She was here earlier, and I guess this is a good chance to... it's not how you spell her name. Okay, why don't we do that? So, we are going to go say hello to Neko. She's playing Shuten Order. I'm not actually sure what this is. But I think it is potentially mature, so if you're underage, keep that in mind, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything particularly... but anyway. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, we're gonna set the raid here. Twitch, or YouTube, if you want to go follow She's also starting there. And hold on, did I miss something? Not missing anything, right? One moment, I'm just gonna check something. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I'm probably gonna raid and run because my brain is scrambled. But if you go ahead and stay, or if you watch if you stay and watch Neko and say hello for me, I'll be there. Be there for a little bit. You know what? Never mind. This is the raid message. If you want to go ahead and follow along, participate. I don't remember what I say for this anymore. If you want to participate, you can go ahead and copy that and paste it in when we get there. Words. Okay. Well, have fun. We'll shoot in order. And we'll see you next time. Night. Oh yeah, YouTube, you're gonna have to go there by yourself because I don't have enough subscribers to do a redirect. So if you want to follow along, you can go ahead and click that link there. All right. Good night. Bye.